Karra, who is a music creator as well as a YouTuber, she does great videos documenting her journey as a creative, and she released a video, I invested $100,000 to create my album and Spotify deleted it. Karra gets into this calculation. How did you get to $100,000 for this album that you did independently? If I remember correctly, she had a 7-year lead up where she was doing top lines, doing a lot of EDM, vocalist type of collaborations, and in this endeavor to really just launch herself, right? To be her own label, be the boss of her own music empire. She endeavored to do it like a record label, and this is what she says it cost. And hello, I'm top music attorney, Miss Krystle. I've been lawyering for over 11 years now. I have an entertainment law firm, and music is 100% my passion, and this channel is dedicated to helping you with your music career, so if that sounds good, don't forget to subscribe. Let's jump into it.
After a few successful singles, I decided it was time to make a full album. In my mind, I was going to release multiple singles and albums throughout my life, and this was going to be the start of a solo artist career on Spotify. Or so I thought. So let's get down to business and make this album. While the producers themselves didn't bill me for their time because we were friends and frequent collaborators, we did have to negotiate 12 different agreements. Lawyer fees can range anywhere from $8,000 to $12,000 for an entire album with multiple contributors. If you make your album entirely by yourself, this step would be way cheaper or even unnecessary. I do everything above board, and so I wanted everyone's master and publishing splits agreed upon with a formal contract, standard stuff.
So with the lawyers, one workaround is getting contract templates, meaning you actually get real contract templates from real lawyers. But if you have your lawyer explain to you how it works, it should be a plug and play kind of situation, because to her point, she goes 12 different songs, multiple contributors. That's going to be a lot of back and forth. And then if your lawyer is going back and forth with someone else's lawyer, this is how it can get expensive. And so one way to keep costs down is that you get the good contract, you have your lawyer explain it to you. And then when it comes to just switching out terms on what percentage is each person getting, you drive costs down. So now it ends up being maybe a couple $1,000s, but your top 3 agreements are going to be your collaborator agreement, your featured artist agreement, and a work for hire, like a session musician agreement. And these will cover you in most of these situations. Now, as a resource, I have contract templates through topmusicattorney.com, but you don't have to buy anything from me. I offer the real deal stuff for you guys when you need it. But what I'm saying is that if you are going to go hire an entertainment attorney to do this stuff for you, have these discussions in advance, because I don't want you to not go get a lawyer because you think it's going to cost you $10,000. It doesn't have to, and it shouldn't.
Next, we have to get the album mixed. In pop and rap music, top mixing engineers charge anywhere from $2,000 to $4,000 per song. It makes no difference if it's a single or an album cut. They have operating expenses, they have staff to pay, and they charge a fixed flat rate for every song. And I had 12 songs to mix. Plus, they don't retain any publishing or master, so this is the only time they'll get paid. To me, it was worth every penny because the mixes sounded so much better than our original demos. Plus, we got to learn a lot about mixing and what we can do differently in our mixes in the future. I definitely recommend this to anybody serious about their sound quality, even if it's just one song.
On the mixing side, it absolutely can be expensive, and mixers often will have a cap on how many passes you can do on songs, and it's one of the most frustrating things sometimes, because if a mixer is not getting what you want, even if you tried to demo it as close to what you were thinking, different creatives have a different ear for your music. And so meaning if you need not 3 passes, right, attempts to get the song right, maybe it needs to be a whole lot more than that. I've had passes that go up into the double digits. So I am a fan of like discussing that the song needs to be right and that there be no cap on how many passes there are. For mixing, the average indie rate that I have found is around $500.
Next, you have mastering. Top mastering engineers charge anywhere from $300 to $800 per song, but each song has an instrumental, an a cappella, clean version, and of course, the main version. So one song will have multiple masters that you need to pay for. Generally, the main master is the expensive one, and the alternate deliverables are a smaller fee on top.
Now for mastering, right, the range of like $300 to $800, again, I've absolutely seen that, but you need to ask these questions on what's your rate for independent artists, because oftentimes these guys have the rates for the major mainstream artists and they will charge you $1,500, $3,000, but maybe for an independent artist they're going to charge you $200, and you can get the top guys, which is actually one of the coolest things.
When you upload your songs to Spotify, you can either upload a cover art or a video canvas. They always encourage you to include a video canvas because videos are naturally more engaging than photos. So that leads us to the cover photo. A professional photo shoot with a photographer in an indoor studio in Los Angeles costs anywhere between $1,000 to $3,000. And that gets you a couple hours together to take pictures and a fixed number of final edits. Plus, before you get there, you have to pay for your makeup, hair, and wardrobe. On an album, you of course have the main cover photo, plus additional promo photos for your profile picture, your banners, and any promotional content surrounding your release. Simply paying for the photo shoot gives you permission to only use those photos in your internet posts. If you want to sell merch, put up a billboard, or sell any physical item with that picture on it, you also have to pay your photographer a commercial licensing fee, which could cost an additional hundreds or thousands of dollars depending on their rates.
For the photo shoot, this is where I'm gonna say, oh my gosh, if you ever work with a photographer, you need to find people who give you ownership of your pictures. It shouldn't be a license to you where you get to use it for like a couple social media posts and then you gotta come back and pay more money. No, remember, you're building this so that it is your music career. These are service providers that work for you. So if someone says that they're gonna take pictures that you are paying them to take, they don't want to give you ownership, don't work with them. There are so many extremely talented photographers and creatives who want to help you build and to build your intellectual property, which are your pictures and your music and everything that comes with this creative process.
Next, you need videos. Every song on the album sounded slightly different. There was no one visual that would have made sense for all 12 Spotify canvases. So we shot a mini vertical visualizer for each song to have a unique 8-second canvas on Spotify, plus an official music video for my song Nice Cat. Plus I wanted to repurpose this footage for content on Instagram and TikTok, but that didn't happen, and we'll get to that later. At the time, Reed and I didn't know very much about professional video production, so we hired a professional film crew to get us the professional look we wanted. By this time, this is the third crew we've hired, and we've been very happy with the results. So for this video shoot, we rented out a white cyc wall studio that we could redecorate, repurpose, and relight 12 ways, one unique scene for each song. This crew included a director, producer, camera operator, set design, lens operator, lighting team, wardrobe, hair, makeup, location, insurance, and gear rental. Video locations don't work like music studios, where all the gear is provided for you. You have to bring your own.
Love this. First of all the visuals that she was showing, so fun, but also she's bulk content creating, so she is utilizing the same team, the same crew to do everything at once. This is one of the best hacks for independent artists in that use a simple space, a white studio, and you can build stuff within it, and then you do all of your social media stuff, all of your music video shoots, rapid fire. This is what we did for my song Say to Me. We shot the music video and then we shot 4 remix videos. So we had a total of 5 different music videos that we shot in the same day. We were doing social media content in between, taking pictures. So it's a way to have like a month of content that you can sprinkle out. And then again, to keep costs down, you can invest in your own equipment if this is something that you are doing over and over. But you can have skeleton crews. I've had crews as small as 3 people, 5, 8 team members. But I love that she went super pro on everything, including the team.
Now we have video post-production. For this, we figured the best way to tackle the workload would be to hire an editor and colorist that can work with us in-house. This helps avoid revisions, annoying emails back and forth, or time zone differences that you may be battling with your team of editors. Depending on where you live, this could cost around $200 to $600 a day. In addition to the expensive video production, we also did countless pieces of iPhone content and videos at home that cost little to no budget. They say you want to try to hit every angle when promoting music, so I produced a wide variety of visuals to pair with the music.
The prep stage for your release is no joke. You need to be ready to go, not just for the day of, but literally for the month that follows, having content every single day and then trying stuff. Your super pro polished stuff sometimes is the stuff that flops, and your home selfie video that you made on a Saturday is the thing that goes viral. You never know. So variety is so key with promotion, and also hard promotion, meaning, hey, my new song is out, versus doing something that otherwise is kind of funny, entertaining, and your music just happens to be in the background.
At that time, Reed and I didn't own all of the professional video equipment that we have now. So we rented everything locally in LA. This cost about $35,000 to $40,000, which sounds like a lot, but that's how much video crews cost. They all did a great job, and they gave very fair prices considering how skilled they are.
She goes on to explain, all right, she's done all of this work. So then what proceeded was a number of steps of just chaos for her, from her canvases that she spent so much money on not being posted onto Spotify, and then it taking weeks for Spotify to resolve the issues, to her music getting muted on TikTok because one of her collaborators was having all these legal problems. And then eventually her album ended up getting pulled down from Spotify. It otherwise had performed very well, but there had been a spike in the performance, which of course she was very excited about. We see music take off sometimes a year after it gets released. You never know when something's gonna hit an algorithm. Hers did. Spotify identified it as streaming fraud and pulled her album. Now she goes on in the video to show her earnings from the various platforms, right? You get paid from your music distributors, so we're looking at for over 1 million streams. Her earnings from BMI, okay. Plus, she received a sync placement, so giving her a grand total
$4,601.10. So, after running the numbers, was it worth it? From an artistic perspective, yes. I learned a lot, I went on an epic journey, and I got the opportunity to express myself freely and creatively and just really embody what it means to be an artist. Plus, I had so much fun along the way, and I wouldn't trade those memories for the world.
She goes on to say from an accounting standpoint, it was no good. And I can say this as well. I've been independent, which followed being signed from record labels, management deals, and just realizing that the best way to do this, in my opinion, is to do it yourself, to own your own music, to be in charge of your success and your failures, but that you stay in charge of everything. Because what I've realized is that record labels, marketing companies, they're just people. They're people who have knowledge, who have done things. And so you can have knowledge and do things for yourself. And it's extremely frustrating relying on other people. That's been probably the biggest driver for me to start my own record label and do what I have done over my career, is that I don't want to wait on other people. I don't want other people making decisions for me. And so I want to commend Karra for doing this, right? And she unfortunately took a huge hit on this, but I've been there. I've literally spent hundreds of thousands of dollars learning these lessons, from the legal to the marketing to working with different teams to hiring people to work for you. And this is just part of building a business. That's why I say you have to learn to be your own record label. You can get your own contract templates. You can negotiate your own deals. And you, in fact, can have your own team, your in-house team of video editors and music producers. And then when it comes to, well, how do you make money from your music? Well, Karra had this to say about what she's going to be doing related to Spotify moving forward.
It is really disappointing that the album came to such an abrupt halt. But there is a silver lining. This album disaster was the catalyst that I needed to restructure my entire business and invest all of my time in a profitable and stable platform like YouTube. This doesn't mean I'm gonna stop making music or stop sharing music online. It just means that I'm no longer investing my time, energy, money, or creativity into music streaming services and distribution companies.
As of recording this, I do see that her music is still on Spotify. Now, there's a lot that she is tagged in, right, as a collaborator. So what I'm taking her to say is that she's going to focus her efforts on her YouTube channel, which is great. But she'll still have her music on Spotify. She's just not going to maybe worry about it, fight with Spotify. This is kind of what I say, right? It's my sell before you stream method. I'm like, treat streaming platforms like they're glorified marketing. Assume you're going to have problems. Assume they're taking a lot of your money. Assume you're not going to make a whole lot of money. And so before you actually put your music on streaming platforms, find other ways to monetize it. Now, my methods are sell it through your website. Go to Bandcamp. Allow your fans to support you. Let them pay what they want for your music. You can make significantly more money using this method rather than just being like, I'm going to put my money on Spotify and hope for the best. Now, she actually acknowledges this and she talks about the selling on your website method, and she goes, you know, it's kind of complicated because of all of the co-writers and they have their own labels and publishers, and trying to pay for mechanical royalties and all this stuff is just going to be too complicated. And so she's saying she prefers just to use her YouTube channel, and that's amazing. Find your own path, and when these things happen, do not allow it to hold you back. This is your life. This is your career. You got this. Don't forget to subscribe. I'm Top Music Attorney. I'll see you on the next one.